I don't know what it is that I feel.
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, the elders, at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations as always to the elect. We're going to get into news and prophecy, linking the things that are happening worldwide to the Holy Scriptures to show the faithful elect, the remnant, that the words of Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, faithful and true. All right. As we chat down this new world order headed by Babylon the Great. All right. And this beast system headed by the elites. All right. Who ultimately have a plan to bring in a new world order. All right. A new age. All right. Under the authority of Satan. Using technology, science, witchcraft, pseudoscience, and everything else that they've been blessed with on the left-hand side, all right, which ultimately through the new song, all right, we're speaking condemnation upon the elite, their plans, those who are joined unto them, all right, as well as 2/3 of our own people who don't want to repent and receive, all right, the message of the new song or dance to the words as it is being sung, all right, through the streets of Babylon and Great and scattered throughout the four corners of the earth by the prophets, all right, which the 144,000 were given a new song, all right, and we believe through faith as you read the scriptures, some of those very men are here on the planet earth today, all right, doing what prophecy said they would do, chanting down and speaking the end into existence, all right, synonymously, the elites, pursuant to Revelation, the 13th chapter, have their plan, all right, to X out the Son of the Most High, okay, which ultimately is undermining the authority of the Most High, all right, implement all of their philosophies, all right, and then, all right, put their name, brand, or mark, all right, upon all of the citizens of the world, which they plan on, you know, taking a lot of people out, all right, so that, you know, they can start over, you know, with a certain amount of people, which is going to be easier for them to control and start their new world order, which ultimately everybody's on to them, all right, because we're living in a time, all right, where the scriptures say when they're about to fill their belly, all right, they're going to start to witness, you know, all manner of slip-ups. They're going to be in straits. So as you see here, all right, this creep here, this Edomite, okay, because as the elder Malcolm always goes into, and the apostles and bishops, you know, this group of people have been able to hide, you know, under terms, all right, that ultimately hide the true identity of the biblical nationalities. They've been able to hide under white, European, you know, and many other pseudo terms, but they're Edomites who ultimately, when you go into the scriptures, would rule in end time prophecy. They would rule this Babylon the Great and beast system. All right, that's why it's called a scarlet colored beast in Revelation, the 17th chapter. Scarlet is a derivative of red. Okay, in the book of Revelation 12, it's called a red dragon, you know, which ultimately is synonymous with the Roman Empire, which has been reborn into the earth in these times, all right? And those at the World Economic Forum, all right, which they have many, you know, agendas and meetings, they meet at the highest point in Europe, all right, to offer up sacrifices and ultimately plan their agendas for the world. This article is off of the peoplesvoice.tv. All right. Clause, all right, Schwab admits that Agenda 2030 is failing, all right? And by 2030, all right, they plan on having, all right, that digital beast system set up. All right, they plan on implementing laws that are centered around, global warming, climate, CO2, all of those things by 2030. All right, no more, gas, cars, and all of these plans. And they're presenting as if they want to help save the earth, but we know that they're preparing for a mass enslavement. All right, he admits that that agenda is failing as millions rise up against the NWO. All right, 2 years ago, all right, Schwab, okay, which it came out that he's no more than a Rothschild under a new name, which that's what they do. Okay, he has declared openly that by the year 2030, WEF would have full control over humanity. Okay, let's go ahead and listen to this video.
2 years ago, Klaus Schwab openly declared that by the year 2030, the World Economic Forum would have full control over humanity. Of course, Schwab tried to frame this as a positive development for the people of the world. In his psychopathic mind, we the people need to be ruled by the globalist elite for our own good. And he's got a plan for us that involves murdering the vast majority of the world population. And for those who survive the mass extinction event, a grim future awaits. Of eating bugs and crickets, banning meat and dairy, banning private cars, and 15-minute cities that could be more accurately described as open-air prisons. Unfortunately for Schwab, the plan to lock up humanity...
Right, they plan on making the world an even bigger prison than they have made it, so far. They plan on taking it further. And if you're looking around the world, there's so many, deceptions, or there's all kind of propaganda being pushed, and you're seeing the whole order out of chaos scenario, all right, being set up, all right? And we only go get so much of this, but because we always go into it, but it's our job to keep you informed, okay?
Humanity by the year 2030 is not going to plan. The people of the world are slowly but surely waking up to the truth about his evil agenda, and Schwab is becoming increasingly terrified of being held to account. The global elite are now acting like cornered rats, and it's our job to make sure they don't escape. Before we dive in, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
What we have seen in the elections in the United States, in the Brexit vote, this anger of people against globalization and against the elites. If you look what's happening in the United States, particularly, you have this anti-system movement. What we are seeing is a revolution against the system.
Basically, he's letting you know, because you have the nationalist ideology, with Make America Great Again, and then you have the globalist ideology, which ultimately you can see Joe Biden, is being used as a tool by the elite to push, and these two opposing ideologies are clashing, all right? But what's happening is, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, okay, many are starting to wake up, all right, to exactly what they're doing. As a matter of fact, let's get this, and I believe Job, the 20th chapter. Job, the 20th chapter. And the 20th verse. As a matter of fact, start at 18. That which he labored for shall he restore. All of that gold, okay? Because while the average everyday people, all of the nations, but especially so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are running in this rat race, being snared by debt, and ultimately, being set up to be a perpetual slave forever and ever and ever. All right, these elites are sitting on a high horse. That's why James, the 5th chapter, goes into what it goes to. Woe now, ye rich men, weep and howl, because the miseries that are going to come upon you because of your ill dealings. All right, that which he labored for, all right, shall he restore. And you got to understand, Klaus Schwab comes from a family of demons that have been planning this for ages. So in his day, he wants to see it implemented. These are the things they really sit around the table and talk about. These are their plans, all right? That one day, all of the inhabitants of the planet Earth, after they, mass, the make mass numbers of people disappear via plagues, pestilence, famine, releasing wild beasts upon the people, which is talked about in Revelation 6th chapter. We just saw, every time you look up, there's wild animals being loosed. I just saw in Florida, they had a wild alligator walking around, all right, with a human inside of it, and they had to put it to death. 13-foot long alligator. All right. So ultimately, all of these things are judgments that are being set up, and the Lord is allowing the left hand, all right, the Edomite, which is his sword, all right, to come in a particular spirit. You see, while we're preaching against what he's trying to do, literally, he's doing it. All right. And there's going to come a point where the Lord is going to stop him. And that's what we have faith in. It says, and he shall not swallow it down. All right. According to his substance shall be the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein. And when you look up this word restitution, all right, because when you look at what happened to us, all right, Jake is walking around looking for reparations. Jake is walking around really believing that one day this devil is going to be fair and that they're somehow going to have some part in the NWO. And nah. All right. These people are getting ready to go absolutely mad. The word is thamawara, that which is exchange, substitute, recompense, restitution. And we're going to be restored by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right. And all that you devils have stole, all of the resources that you hoarded to yourselves, all right, that you think that you're going to use as a means to bring everybody to their knees, you're not going to rejoice therein. All right, because he have oppressed and forsaken the poor. He have violently taken away a house which he builded not. All right, I was just looking at a video where in Jamaica, none of the people of those cities, okay, on that island are able to enjoy the beach. They're getting pushed away, all right, by tourists. But ultimately, although Esau Edom has went and bought out, the leaders of Jamaica are a big part of that, because Esau Edom has the monetary means and the sword, all right, to ultimately make, all right, the so-called leaders of these nations bow. So they're selling off the land. And Esau's building all of these resorts, and people who've depended on the sea all their lives are being pushed away. You can't go. All right. The land of Israel, he's over there in a particular part of the promised land. He ain't in the whole promised land, but he's in a particular part of it, saying he's the people. America. All right. Canada. All right. The Americas, period. He's over in Africa. Okay? He's in Australia. He violently took away houses that he builded not. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. And that's what they're witnessing. Okay? He's not feeling quietness in his belly. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. Y'all going to be through. Okay, and the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits, and every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Now, again, this word wicked is imal. Okay, imal, the laborer, sufferer, wretched one, workman, sufferer. The working class are rebelling against this devil, and a great example of that is what we see happening, all right, with all of these strikes. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can pull something up. Boom. 150,000 auto workers launch unprecedented strike against GM, Ford, all right, and Stellantis. Okay? And when you look it up, all right, pretty much they're saying enough is enough. So we're seeing what? Uproars of the people. All right, this is on a small scale, but you have people actually calling out the elites of this world. Okay? People are pissed off. They've realized, all right, that ultimately the elites of this world don't give two shits about them. As a matter of fact, before I go back to that video, I want to bring this up. Let me I'll come back to that. See if I can find it. Let's listen to this guy here. We'll just listen to a little bit of this. But this is off of Democracy Now! UAW on strike. Auto workers target all big three automakers at once. Start a little bit back. We ain't gonna play much of it, but this is the atmosphere. Remember, when you get Second Esdras, the 9th chapter. Second Esdras, the 9th chapter, and he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. Okay? And we're witnessing earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world on a high level. Fires on a high level. Confusion on a high level. Sodomite behavior on a high level. Okay? And we're synonymously seeing the judgment. The charagma is right around the corner. Hey, we're getting ready to get the hell up out of here.
Versus the have-nots, the billionaire, we're on the right side in this battle. It's a battle of the working class against the rich.
It's a battle of the working class against the rich. You see that?
The haves versus the have-nots, the billionaire class against everybody else. And again, in talking about that, this class warfare, people accuse us and say this is class warfare.
Right, because there's going to be class wars. A lot of people think it's just going to be one big race war. No, it's going to be class wars, sex wars, all right, gender wars, all right, all manner of wars. Because basically the middle class is getting wiped out, okay? And the rich are getting richer, just as you saw happen with the lockdowns from 2020 till now. All right, it was just a power grab. They were able to cut out many of the middlemen, and they're still working on that. In these next round of shutdowns, there will be no middleman, which will leave the people, all right, looking up to who has all of the resources and riches. People are tired of this. Okay? And y'all not getting those pensions that you thought you were going to get. Because when this system collapses, they're going to take all of your investments, your pensions, and say, ultimately, we need to take this to help save the government. They're going to come up with some kind of excuse. Right? And you're going to be left wanting. And your only way to get back in the game is to enter into their door through that charagma. You want a percentage of what you had back? Yeah, look, Donald, you paid $150,000 into, your 401k or whatever. If you want 20,000 of it, this is what you need to do, and we'll give you a monthly stipend. Well, if you want 5,000 of it back, okay, and you can start over debt free in this new world that we're getting ready to bring. This is what's getting ready to come down the pipe.
There's been class warfare going on in this country for the last 40 years. The billionaire class has been taking everything and leaving everybody else to fight for the scraps. And when I talk about that, there's one more piece of scripture I like, it reminds me of in Matthew 19, 23, 24, which states, it is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. Why is it easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich person to enter the kingdom of God? I have to believe that answer, at least in part, is because in the kingdom of God, no one hoards all the wealth while everybody else suffers and starves.
Right. And he's wrong on that breakdown. There's an actual breakdown to why that was said. But in the kingdom of heaven, there will be an elite class. You see, it just won't be ran and operated as wicked and unjust as this one. All right, because when it's all said and done, all of the heathen nations are going to bow to the names of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. They won't be in the new covenant. They will never be on the level of an Israelite. But when it's all said and done, even after their hardcore judgment and Esau's done away with, they'll be able to return to their lands and just be subject to following the law, statutes, and commandments. That's what that 1,000-year period is going to be for. All right, to put you in subject and so that you well understand, all right, after generations and generations on down the line, what we as the Israelites require. Okay? Because when it's all said and done, the whole earth will be ran under the vibration of righteousness. You see? But we, the nation of Israel, the priesthood, the 144,000, all right, will be the new bankers. The scriptures talks about how we will loan to the heathen. As a matter of fact, let's get that. Let's get Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, real quick. Nigga, hold up. All right, Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. It's always hard for me to find this, but boom. All right, this is verse 12 in Deuteronomy 28. We got to understand these blessings from verse 1 to 14 are going to be implemented, all right, in the kingdom of heaven. You see, Solomon was able to do these things, you know, for 40 years, but of course we know he went off. Deuteronomy 28 and 12, the Lord shall open unto thee his good treasure, all right, the heaven to give rain unto thy land in his season, which that means what? Resources, because the king is served of the field. All right, the true money, the true riches are in the earth. To bless all the work of thine hand, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. All right, the Lord shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only. All right, and thou shalt not be beneath. All right, if that thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord thy God. So the commandments being in us means that this stands. You see? And ultimately what we're witnessing now is the results of a wicked rulership. Sirach 10 and 1, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. This government ain't well ordered. Boom. I just thought about the scripture I was thinking of. Very basic script. None of the scriptures are basic, but one we always bring out. Proverbs 29 and 2, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. See that? So clearly the wicked are in authority. Okay? Verse 3, an unwise king destroyeth his people. Why would you destroy your subjects? Poison them. Castrate them. All right? Not pay them, all right, ultimately what they're due. This man has broken every law in the scriptures, damn near. Everything. You're supposed to pay a man the day that he works, according to the law. Before the sun goes down, you're supposed to give a man what he worked for that day. This devil holds your check for either 2 weeks or a month in certain cases. A lot of teachers get paid monthly so that they can hold out more taxes to keep you in this rat race. But they're sitting on trillions upon gazillions upon it's not even a number you can put on the amount of wealth that they have. See? The power of the earth let's see, go back to 3. An unwise king destroyed this people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. The power of the earth is in the hand of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. And at Yahweh Shai, a profitable ruler is coming to the earth. We're living under an unprofitable ruler.
In the kingdom of God, no one puts themselves in a position of total domination over the entire community.
Well, that's a lie. All right, now we got to get on this guy. Okay? Let's get Revelation, the 2nd chapter, and the 26th verse. And to he that overcometh, this is Yahweh Shai speaking, and keeping my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. All right, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken into shivers, even as I have received of my Father. Okay? So the Lord is going to set a profitable ruler up. Every empire had their elites, all right, their so-called middle class of their own nation, and then the poor, and they ruled over the other nations. It's not going to be any different in the kingdom of heaven. Skip past this guy talking about the Bible because that's our job.
Living paycheck to paycheck, scraping to get by, that's hell. That world's not the kingdom of God. That world is hell. Living paycheck to paycheck, scraping to get by, that's hell. Choosing between medicine and rent is hell. Working 7 days a week for 12.
I was just looking at another article. All right. Drug shortages reported at 96%. All right. Of U.S. pharmacies as big pharma supply chain begins to fail. People are not going to be able to get their medicines. This is another aspect of a lot of people being going to drop dead. Okay. A lot of people are getting ready to suffer. All right. And as you see here, before 2023 is complete, a major world-changing event will occur. All right. Remote viewers warn, will it be the rapture? No, stop. Okay. The Lord is just going to let the devil loose. Okay. And we're witnessing the system being implemented. All right. To bring everybody to their knees right before our face. This is why we constantly warn and exhort, all right, you brothers, you know, and you few sisters who watch, that, hey, man, we're gonna have to step out on faith.
12 hours a day for months on end is hell.
It's hell. He's right about
Having
that.
your plant closed down and your family scattered across the country is hell.
Hell.
Being made to work during a pandemic and not knowing if you might get sick and die or spread the disease to your family is hell.
Hell.
And enough is enough. It's time to decide what kind of world we want to live in. And it's time to decide what we're willing to do to get it.
That was UAW President Shawn Fain, who took office in March. We're joined now by two guests. Alex Press is staff writer for Jack.
So you can watch the rest of that video. All right, you see the title of it. All right, people are rebelling. Okay, and who is it? Imal, the laborer, the workman, the one who's in misery, the one who's ultimately, as you see here, all right, misery. The working class is in misery, all right, living paycheck to paycheck, all right, running in a rat race to keep this devil's system afloat while he does everything in his power to make it even more miserable for you. So the one who's toiling, the one that is in misery, the workmen, the laborer, the ones who really keep this empire rolling, which at the end of the day is really you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, but even their own kind are living in this rat race. Those people are getting ready to rebel against the ruling class. Okay? On a whole nother level. Okay? And this is why they're getting ready to pass all kind of laws to shut you people up, especially over here in America.
It's dismantling the system, and we see certain elements of this now in the new US administration.
And they're using Donald Trump as a figurehead, all right, as one who is against their globalist agenda, which eventually they're going to tie it to us, Bible believers. You see the guy who was just, rebelling, you see he talked about the Bible. Pretty soon, all right, which is really already here, those who believe in the Bible are going to be the enemies of the NWO. Then we're going to see who was chosen of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, all right, and who was set up, all right, as the true men of the Lord, all right, in these latter days.
When historians look back on this era, it will be remembered as the time the globalist elite revealed their hand and began to lose grip on power. According to Klaus Schwab's right-hand man, Yuval Noah Harari, the liberal rules-based order that the globalist elite have been working on for decades is suddenly in danger of being dismantled by the people of the world.
When you look at the bigger picture of the world, what you can say about Donald Trump or what he's doing over the last 2 years is one very big and important thing he's doing. He's destroying the US alliance system all over the world. I don't know why he's doing.
Right, because, Trump is, although, because it's weird, and you got to watch these devils. Trump has being heralded as this enemy of the NWO, but he supported, the small hats. Again, it's all theater. These things are being presented before you for a reason. Donald Trump is a figurehead, all right, of the kind of people that they want to shut out. You see, but it kind of backfired because a lot of the stuff he said, all right, average everyday people was like, damn, you right. you right. All right. But ultimately, we know it's all a snare. But it's a snare that's ultimately going to work against the elites. All right. They're going to find out they're not in control. They're going to find out there is a higher power in control over them, and you won't be able to ever rule outside of his authority. He's omnipotent. You're only doing his will, you goddamn devils. And when the earth is rid of you Edomites, man, oh my goodness, man. Oh man, I may take the biggest deep breath in the kingdom of, who knows what a deep breath in the kingdom is going to be like. I cannot wait to that day where there's no more Edomites. You see, and that's coming. The kingdom of heaven talks about that. Let's get Isaiah the 14th chapter. Real quick, Isaiah 14 and 18. All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, every one in his own house, because they're going to be sent to their lands. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with the sword, that go down to the stones in a pit, and as a carcass trodden underfoot. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because they're going to have their rulership taken away. All right. But they'll still be able to live, all right, in the kingdom of heaven, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. Okay. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and will cut off from Babylon the name, the remnant, the son, the nephew, saith the Lord. All seed-bearing Israelites, all right, will be done. And then there's going to be a point where all of you just die off. See? Psalms 21. Psalms 21 and 9. 8. Thine hand, which is Yahweh Shai and the holy angels, shall find out all thine enemies. Thy right hand shall find out all those that hate thee. See? Thou shalt make them as a fiery oven in the time of thine anger. The Lord shall swallow them up in his wrath, and a fire shall devour them. Their fruit shalt thou destroy from off the earth, and their seed from among the children of men. For they intended evil against thee. They imagined a mischievous device, which they are not able to perform. And this is that device. Okay? That NWO.
doing it, but in a very systematic way. They're our friends, let's destroy that. They're our friends, let's alienate them. He's alienating America's friends in North America, Canada and Mexico, in Western Europe, in the Far East, South Korea, Japan. He's in a systematic way, for reasons I cannot fathom. He's destroying the greatest achievement of
Basically, Trump and his ideology of nationalism is going against our globalist plan. And many people are starting to latch on to it. Remember, at one point, everybody hated Trump, right? But now people are starting to, make sense of what's happening around them. Like, wait a minute, this guy is actually making sense. Everything is worse. Everything is freakier and creepy and nasty under this globalist, ideology, that Biden is bringing. This ain't fun. But ultimately, everything is just getting ready to go crazy.
Of the US foreign policy for decades and decades to build this alliance, this global alliance system.
And what is the greatest achievement of liberal US foreign policy according to Harari? Here's a hint. It sounds a lot like the brand of liberal authoritarian fascism pushed by Klaus Schwab from his hideout in the mountains of Switzerland.
We have built the rule-based liberal global order.
Those 5 words should be enough to send a chill down the spine of any self-respecting citizen.
A global order. This is Nimrod all over again. You Edomites are the modern day Nimrod, which means rebellion. See, trying to bring everybody up under your one world order. See? And if you look around, everything's going digital. Let's look up a little bit more of this and let's move on to another topic.
Citizen of the free world. The globalist elites are now more dangerous than ever. They are cornered rats willing to do anything because they can see defeat on the horizon. And all those who called for a new world order are now running scared. After this quick break, we will reveal how the globalist elites are more terrified than ever before about the people rising up against them. EV, and use promo code TPV at the checkout. Purchasing these American globalists who are terrified that the New World Order is failing. United Nations elite descended on New York City this week to attend the 2023 Sustainable Development Goals Summit and devise an urgent plan to save Agenda 2030. Because according to UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, the deeply unpopular globalist plot is in peril. In an address delivered before the attendees, including Joe Biden, Guterres said, "Today, only 15% of the targets are on track, with many going into reverse," before issuing a call for a global rescue plan to pull Agenda 2030 back from the jaws of defeat. This is what desperation looks like. Of course, they won't admit that the people of the world have woken up to their agenda. They will double down and continue with their plan, because as the Bible says, wicked doesn't sleep. Just this week, Klaus Schwab went on record thanking European leaders for passing a new chip law. According to Schwab, this is an important step to create a physical brain for digitization.
Thank you very much, Madam President.
You hear that?
Ursula. What speech, comprising so many such important issues. I just would like to highlight what you said about the European Chips Act, because it's a very important step to create the physical brain for digitalization.
There is simply no room for humanity in the WF's dystopian vision of the future. Free thinkers and truth tellers like Russell Brand are all...
Which this dude is set up. There's a lot of controlled opposition out there. All right, but, at the end of the day, let's get Isaiah 44 and 24. Thus saith the Lord thy Redeemer, and he that formed thee from the womb. Okay? I am Yahweh that maketh all things, that stretcheth forth the heavens alone, and spreadeth abroad the earth by myself. All right? That frustrated the tokens of the liars, and make it diviners mad, and turn it wise men backwards, and make it their knowledge foolish. So people are starting to as the scriptures say, their own tongues will fall on themselves. Psalms 64, all right, and 8. Psalm 64 and 6, they search out iniquities, they accomplish the diligent search, both the inward part and thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep. But God shall shoot at them with an arrow, suddenly shall they be wounded. So shall they make their own tongue to fall on themselves, and all that see them shall flee away. And all men shall fear and shall declare the work of God, for they shall wisely consider his doing. There you go. People are wisely considering, wait a minute, and it's just getting started. These people are all over the place. I just saw an article, which I've been looking for news on this. All right, but military announces lost F-35 jet was carrying Epstein client list. So basically, they're putting it out there that this infamous list with all of these names of people who are in high positions who visited Epstein Island was lost on that ship, on that, jet. Which of course, I would look for news on it and you couldn't find too much. But of course that wouldn't be too much news on that, because ultimately these people who are in high positions are a part of this crap. In a blow to the transparency of information and what could have been a treasure trove of evidence against the global sex, all right, this word ring, because you can't even say these particular things now, showing you that the powers that be work for these people and are these people. We're literally living in a wicked, all right, prison planet ran by sickos and pedos. Okay? Yeah. The Pentagon has announced the lost F-35 fighter jet, apparently carrying the only known copy of the Epstein client list, was lost. This is truly unfortunate. The Department Defense spokesman John Kirby. The client list that once belonged to the late Mr. Epstein was being transported to an undisclosed location for analysts to prepare to use it as evidence to deliver justice to the Epstein victims. Tragically, with the plane going missing, it is unlikely we will ever see the list again. Right? Such a peculiar happenstance, really. And oh my goodness. What a coincidence. So everybody's starting to see how wicked you people are. And you're not going to be able to cover these things up. As the scripture said, there's nothing, corruption is going to be overcome. All right? And the truth that has been so long without fruit is going to be declared. We're the Israelites, you're the Edomites. This place is wicked. And all of the things you've been trying to hide and cover up is not going to work anymore. Okay? As it says in Isaiah the 47th chapter, stand now in the 12th verse with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. All right? If so be thou shalt be able to profit. If so be thou mayest be able to prevail. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, and the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. See, he's wearied in the multitude of the counsels. And this is one of them. All right?
Already being deplatformed and cancelled by the globalist elites, with their attack dogs in the mainstream media acting as their propaganda department. First, they came for Brett Kavanaugh with a carefully crafted defamation campaign. Then they came for Russell Brand, who was smeared by the UK's far-left Channel 4.
And these people are all set up as pawns so that they can start to just cancel everybody who has a particular talking point.
And a team of anonymous women. It appears he was getting too close to the truth on his popular YouTube channel. And now they're targeting Tim Ballard, the real-life hero of the Sound of Freedom movie, who was warned by the globalist elite that they would end his career in retribution for daring to expose the global child trafficking industry to the masses. These are desperate ploys by the elite, who know that the people are waking up to their evil plans. But they simply won't work. The people have woken up and the revolution against the elites has begun. In WF infiltration Canada, the media is hard at work pushing Klaus Schwab's insect-eating agenda. But there's just one problem. Even the TV show hosts are struggling to pretend they are enjoying the WF's plans for humanity. 2023 is the year the elite became desperate and revealed their hand. While the battle will continue...
And ultimately, they were forced by the Lord to reveal their hand. And by oath to Satan, they have to openly tell you what they're going to do. See? But again, the Lord has put a spirit in the earth. All right. And amongst their plans is always some sort of digital brain, plan, to ultimately control humanity with this brain chip thing. All right. Now, moving on. New York introduces robocops to replace traditional police officers. Insane. All right? Which this dude is a puppet. New York City Mayor Eric Adams unveiled a new policing initiative that he boasts will replace traditional cops with cheaper and deadlier alternative robocops. You ain't gonna be able to hop the gate on these niggas. Mayor Adams, who once, all right, and I was just watching a video, Apostle Gabar talked about how things are moving more towards martial law. All right, meaning, military, all right, because you got to understand all of these, immigrants are coming over here. That's a setup. Eventually, they're going to be like, thing is too out of control. All right, your everyday civil affairs are going to be managed by military people, military men. Okay, and it's going to be all manner of, UN troops from all over the world that don't give two shits about you. But then you're going to have to worry about these robots. Okay? They have plans to roll out killer robots to make New York a safer place, all right, for law-abiding citizens. Again, order out of chaos. Okay? Nicknamed the Night Coat K5, this semi-autonomous robot weighs a whopping 400 pounds and is capable of moving at the top speed of 3 miles per hour. Yeah. No, they're not a pushover. This was clearly demonstrated during the press conference because you keep hearing about defund the police. All right. WEF calls for free speech, concentration camp to jail, First Amendment terrorists. There we go. See? And look who they go have coming after your ass. Right in your face. See if we can find a video on this. Robocops.
Well, it seems like something out of a sci-fi movie. Robots appearing in the city's underground.
Fox 6's Richard G. Kovas shows us how the NYPD says this new tech will help with public safety.
To some strap hangers, it may look like something you'd find wandering around your local Stop and Shop.
It's really weird. What is it?
Weird, maybe. But this RoboCop, well, it's so much more than that.
We're taking.
And these is just the first. They're just showing you these little, the Jetsons. Remember that? Okay, yeah, that ain't really going to do nothing. But you just wait till they come with what they really got. Okay? Robots with nigga DNA. They fast. They hear everything. Niggas hear everything. They hear everything. And they're going to be programmed under artificial intelligence, a whole nother intelligence.
Existing technology, cameras, being able to communicate with people, and we're placing it on wheels.
Behold the NYPD's newest Crime Stopper, K5 Autonomous, a security robot that will soon patrol the Times Square 42nd Street subway station.
We will continue to stay ahead of those who want to harm everyday New Yorkers.
Mayor Eric Adams unveiling K5 today underground, part of his new push to increase law enforcement technology in the country's largest transit system. The rollout comes despite crime in the city's subways, down 4.5% compared to last year, according to police.
We are taking an expansive camera network in the subway system and adding to it.
The 400-pound, 5'3" K5 is nothing short of being high-tech. It's equipped with 4 cameras that will allow it to send back live video without audio to the police department. K5 will not use facial recognition technology either. It will patrol the subway station's mezzanine level, not the...
Yeah, just the subway. Okay.
Platforms, but some subway riders say they're a bit concerned about their invasion of privacy. Others appreciate another set of eyes, even if it's in robot form. Well, I like that there are, even though they're not human eyes, that there are eyes that are following what's going on the platform.
I think that, yeah, it's an invasion of privacy because of us, us, the public, we don't agree to it. It shouldn't be put.
You can begin seeing K5 Autonomous as early as tonight, roaming around the city subways with a human officer from midnight to 6 a.m. That officer will be introducing the robot to...
Yeah, you think ultimately they're going to stop there? No. Okay? Somalia begins issuing new biometric digital ID developed with NADRA's help. All right? First national ID cards after 30 years of waiting. Okay? And we know that these devils have went over to these African nations. All right? Some of them are rebelling. But pretty much all of these leaders over there are puppet leaders. And Somalia, all right, the whole world is getting ready to come up under this banner. This is the new Tower of Babel. Okay? Somalia has launched its own biometric identity card system, all right, with the head of the government expressing hope. Hold up. Hope it will help citizens overcome, all right, a myriad socioeconomic challenge as the country struggles with terrorist groups. See? Peace and safety. See? In the news. In the news. This is, hey, it's all happening right before your face, man. This system will boost our business and economy, our banks' communication, and Hawala money transfer system. It will strictly deal with terror networks and fight against extremism. Okay, because they're going to know what people think, what people believe through you having to come up under this system. You're going to get a social credit score. Okay. Hey, and as a matter of fact, over in Africa, we showed you in one of the news and prophecies how
a lawmaker in
Kenya, all right, they went over there scanning, people's eyeballs and getting their biometric, data, all right, and now, all right, because how did they get over there? Because the leaders allowed them over there. But here now you have Kenyan lawmaker raises health concerns over WorldCoin orb scanning eyeballs. WorldCoin scanning eyeballs. Why? What are you doing?
In Kenya is raising concern over the WorldCoin digital orb that was scanning thousands of Kenyans' eyeballs. If you remember, we talked about it a few weeks ago when the Kenyan government banned WorldCoin from scanning Kenyan eyeballs, and it's due to privacy, and they didn't believe on their security, so they banned it temporarily at least. So currently, the parliament is talking about WorldCoin and their project in Kenya.
And all of this stuff is coming here. It's just that Americans have a sense of entitlement. They a lot of people have their so-called freedom of speech. They still have their weapons. All right. So that's why that next world event is going to be needed. All right. To get, to overcome you Americans. All right. And a lot of people are waking up. So they're getting ready to move fast, man. Call halal Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right. But the Kenya shouldn't allow them devils over there to do that to their people anyway. Just like in Jamaica, they shouldn't allow them devils to come over there and buy all the land. But again, money talks. These people have the monetary means to go and buy out leaders, man. Okay, the scriptures tell you a gift. Let's get that real quick. Proverbs 11 or 17. Proverbs 17 and 23, a wicked man taketh a gift out of the bosom to pervert the ways of judgment. So they go throughout these countries and they send their economic hitmen, all right, and they're able to buy out governments or if they do have a leader who ain't down with the plan, he'll disappear. His plane will crash, or he'll choke on a piece of rice and die. All right, and then they'll set up a puppet leader. All right, just like over there in Niger, All right, they're telling, all right, the French and the sellouts they set up to get the hell out, forming coups. There's all kind of uprisings against you devils, man, because you ain't right.
And the lawmaker raised a valid point. Member of Parliament Shakil Shabir brought up the complaints when Health Minister Susan Nakumicha appeared before the parliamentary committee, and he said, quote, "I have 5 cases who have written to me who claim that after this scan, they felt great discomfort. Their eyes were in pain."
Why did you trust that nigga any goddamn way? Call Halal Yahweh Bashim Shah for the Holy Spirit. All right, because look, man, the leaders of Great Millstone and the true men of the Lord who are teaching his word in sincerity and truth have warned you of your enemy. And look at all of the misfortunes that are happening to the people who trusted his ass, who took his juice, who were partaking in his AI systems. You had one dude come out to say that the one of the AI bots at the Cowboys game, he signed up for a program in which he thought he was just giving his information and biometric data over, but he look on the TV and sees his own goddamn face. Hell nah. Sirach 12:10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. So here it is, these weirdos, these heathen, which is a lot of Jake over in Kenya as well, but it's Hamites. All right. Over there, they're allowing WorldCoin to scan their eyeballs. Let's see if we can find a video. And it came with some cryptocurrency. They lined up to get their eyes scanned.
Sydney Chazima, NTV.
Well, and Kenyans from various parts of the country continue to flock at the KICC grounds in Nairobi for WorldCoin registration, despite caution from the Data Protection Office over the use of their sensitive personal information. Martin Mwangi has that report.
Look how many of them
These were the
lined up.
scenes at the Kenyatta International Convention Center on Tuesday as thousands of Kenyans flocked to register for the WorldCoin. Young and old, most of whom
WorldCoin, young and old,
are jobless, started queuing as early.
So basically, they're jobless, they're poor, which is getting ready to happen to you Americans it's already happening. And what do they go present to your ass? Anyway.
The response from Miss Susan was great discomfort. Those who have written to me who claim that after this scan, they felt great discomfort. Their eyes were in pain. The response from Miss Susan was that the orb had not been brought into Kenya as a health device. Its infrared flight had not been tested, so she urged Kenyans who may have developed health issues to seek medical help. The results are expected to come through by next week, so we will know what exactly happened to these Kenyans that have complained after getting their eyeballs scanned. Most of the conversation about WorldCoin is usually, why are they scanning eyeballs? What are they trying to do? Because they claim the reason why they're scanning our eyeballs, for money, by the way, they pay you $50 in a digital cryptocurrency if you get your eyes scanned. They pay you, so it's like whenever someone is paying you, they're getting something in value. But they claim the reason why they're scanning people's eyeballs is because they want to check if you are a human or a robot. Why? I don't know. And they claim that your information or your eye...
Because they put all kind of shit inside them, so they want to see the results of it. That's what I get from it. And we know they're setting up this digital system. All right. Australia unveils plan for universal digital ID and AI task force. AI task force. All right. Draconian measures. Okay. And this was one of the main grounds for the NWO and what they want, all right, during the demic. All right. And a new task force to help ensure government agencies can use AI safely and responsibly, meaning they're going to set up things around the cities. And again, when you enter into this system, that social credit score, AI will be able to pick up on talking points, thoughts, all right, and you know the rest. Your ass will be grass. We need to get the hell up out of here. All right, Singapore, Dubai, Aruba airports embrace biometrics for passport-free traveler clearance. All right, and if you are flying and traveling, we just traveled to Seattle, you're noticing the airports are becoming more and more demonic, and it's being done on purpose because the ultimately they're shutting down the part where you show your ID and your boarding pass, you know, you take off your shoes, which is a demoralizing event. You know, you take off your belt, and then you got some big black nigga, some big nigga woman screaming at the top of her lungs, all right, that the laptops, it's just a mess, right? Well, if you're looking at the airports and how they're moving now, it's people are standing in longer lines. Again, they're creating order out of chaos. This is all being done on purpose so that they can what? Introduce, all right, this digital system, all right, into flying. All right, and all right, your ability to travel is going to be based upon your social credit score. All of this stuff is coming, man. Okay? Let's see here. In the global race to regulate AI, no one is quite sure how. Creating God AI may be the last invention of mankind. All right, scientists re-engineer brain to alter human addiction. Let's see here. Scientists grow human embryo without sperm, egg, or womb. Humanoid robots are coming for warehouse jobs. And this is off of technocracy.news, a great website. But you know, we're already an hour in, you know, so I'm not going to click on every article because I have a few more. But hey, this is where it's going. 15 minutes. Oh, wait. 15-minute city. This statement should be read at every city council meeting. After this statement that schooled the entire city of Aurora, all right, notice the spontaneous standing ovation while cheering lasted 30 seconds. Do you think the citizens got it? Most of the council members look like deer caught in headlights. I am honored that in my work in technocracy is cited here. Most Canadians understand technocracy better than their American counterparts. Yeah, Americans don't understand anything. Still, American citizens should read the statement word for word to their city council. If you don't know how to do it, go to Citizens for Free Speech and our signature, and you ain't gonna sign your way out of what's happening. All right. But hey, that talk of 15-minute cities and technocracy is being set up. Let's see what this is.
What you are about to learn in this presentation may surprise you. Do you realize you have the sovereign power to reclaim self-government?
Yeah, okay.
A system driven and exercised by the people? Did you know there is an activist persona that, when assumed, can empower and reward citizens?
You could look this article up. Again, technocracy.news. I just clicked on it. It wasn't a part of what I had planned, but let's see here.
Good evening. Restructuring of Canadian mayors and municipalities under the auspices of the United Nations began in 1992. PM Mulrooney signed Canada onto UN Agenda 21. Canada thus became a UN member nation state. 178 countries signed on, lured by the promise of big money to go green. By 2000, countries, including Canada, were being governed by directions of the UN, G7, G20, World Economic Forum, and World Health Organization, to name some. Every organization named is a foreign-based NGO, non-governmental organization, and every member of all these organizations is unelected. Parliamentary procedures for law changes weren't followed. In 1994, a municipal primer was issued to all local towns outlining how they were to restructure their governments. Though the municipal primer was a non-binding agreement, all towns adopted it. Our public officials, the mayor and councilors of that day, were partnered with a private corporation, the Corporation of the Town of Aurora, who appointed a chief administrative officer who helped implement the global agenda instead of a local one. The International Council on Local and Environmental Issues, ICLEI, became the main source of consultation to push and fund the global agenda. We remind you that the World Economic Forum and the United Nations signed a strategic partnership framework in 2019 to jointly accelerate the implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. This is the same World Economic Forum whose chairman, Klaus Schwab, famously declared, "You will own nothing and be happy." This is the same Klaus Schwab who, referring to Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, boasted, "We have penetrated more than half of his cabinet." We would ask Mayor Maracas and the councillors, why should the citizens of Aurora bow down to the intrusive dictates of an unelected foreign entity? The fact is we should not, and we will not. What, you ask, does any of this have to do with 15-minute smart cities? Absolutely everything. SMART, S for surveillance, M for monitoring, A for analysis, R for reporting, and T for technology. Technology News editor Patrick Wood, 50 years of experience and expertise on technocracy, wrote, "The 15-minute city is a cover for data collection bonanza for technocrats who design and operate them. Cities designed for maximum efficiency always reveal technocrat thinking that efficiency itself is the goal. Maximum surveillance allows for
peace and safety. And the 15-minute cities, once this everything collapses, is going to be the answer. But we know the reason behind it is, to control and enslave humanity and to link everybody into those digital systems. Anyway, hailstorm affected 22,000, hectares of crops in Valencia, Spain, causing more than 43 million euro in losses. All right, and this is all prophecy, plagues. All right, as it says in the book of 2nd Esdras 15. All right. And 13, they that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with the fearful constellation. The things that are happening in the heavens are resulting in, all kinds of stuff happening on the earth. And, of course, we know the elites have been let loose by Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Why? For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the courses of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. That's those 15-minute cities. They're going to have zones to where you can only travel this far. Okay? And at that point, we're just going to need the Lord's covering. Again, we're witnessing the sedition among men. We're witnessing people rebel against this beast system. We're witnessing people don't want to listen to these leaders anymore. We're witnessing everything that prophecy said we would witness. Okay? For because of their pride shall the cities be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Okay, and this is what we're witnessing. Okay, I didn't mean to hit that, but hey, that's on point. Okay, yeah, the Epstein client list is just gone, right? All right, UFOs have broken into America's backyard, and no one is effectively coordinating any response. And why is this happening? All right, when you look at the Tower of Babel, all right, what did the Lord say? Let us go down and see what the children of men are building. And the us is the angels of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. All right, they've entered into the house of the thief. And the major UFO sightings by number are the Babylon the Great has the most UFO sightings, all right, followed by, the area of Europe, all right, and the area of Russia. Why? Because they're watching. Things are getting ready to be, revved up. Wars getting ready to happen. All right. But we're witnessing the devil tell you he found, alien, remains. It's all manner of evil going on. But we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua that the chariots are here. And that's our defense. Okay. That's how we're going to be defended from all of this madness. All right. Isaiah, the 31st chapter. In the 5th verse, as birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending, he will deliver it, and passing over, he will preserve it. This is how we're going to be delivered. The second Passover, passing over, he will preserve it. We will be what? Covered from the plagues and entered into that new covenant. All right. When those chariots return, when Yahushua returns. All right. Zechariah. All right. And 5:1, then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And as Elisha said, all right, it's more of them. All right. It's more, all right, chariots. All right. Than it is, all right, what Esau thinks he have. But it's a thing of faith. And he said unto me, what seest thou? And I said, a flying roll, the length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. And he said unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that steal it shall be cut off on this side according to it, and everyone that swear it shall be cut off as on that side according to it. And you devils have sweared falsely, you've stolen everything, and I will bring it forth, said the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. All right, you swear your presidents in on the Bible. All right. And it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. So this place is getting ready to be destroyed, man. Okay. And synonymously, okay, the Navy to fall short of recruitment goal, all right, by about 7,000. As the scriptures say, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. Jeremiah 51:30, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holes. Their might have failed. They have become as women. And they have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. So this place is through. All right. What was once the power of Babylon the Great, the Navy, the military, is now, the pushing, for alphabet rights. Okay. You got a bunch of women. You're not fit. And the Lord has weakened the Babylonian military for the purpose of them being destroyed. Nobody wants to sign up for the military and fight no more. Okay? And everybody's waking up that all of these wars are what? False flag wars that they're fighting. And that looks like a man. You don't know what the hell is going on. We really do need to get our people out and about to have a conversation with America about everything the Navy can offer them, and focusing on our mission, our enduring mission of sea control, power projection difference. She added during her confirmation hearing to serve as the chief of naval operations. I think that excites people about what we do and what we'll be able to bring people not only into the Navy, but into our defense industrial base, where we also need capability to maintain and deliver our submarines. We've got lots of opportunities out there, all right, into the high schools and the middle schools, even with STEM programs. Most of the service branches are struggling with difficult recruiting climate, which includes a larger percentage of the military's target demographic that is not eligible to serve without a waiver. People are overweight. People are through, not mentally stable. Low civilian unemployment and increasingly unfamiliarity with the military from those who don't serve. Many branches have changed rules and increased incentives to enlist, and have offered additional resources to those who won't perform overly well on various aptitude or physical exams. So even with them making it easier, nobody want to be in the damn military or the Navy. Y'all through. Babylon is through. Look at this place. Look at this. Look at these people. This place got to be destroyed, man. Another train accident in Nebraska just released massive plume of, perchloric acid. Evacuations ordered for 4-mile radius. So this is just happening every other week, huh? Let's see here. Ukraine appoints satanic pedo Marina Abramovic to serve as child ambassador. Oh my goodness, man. What? The spirit cooker.
Hillary Clinton's campaign manager, John Podesta, attends weird occult dinner parties where blood, semen, and breast milk are used in ritualistic ceremonies. No, this isn't a fake news story. It's absolutely real. And there you were thinking Podesta's...
So I don't even want to... These people are losing their damn minds. And she's cool with Hillary Clinton, you know, Jay-Z with this nigga, you know, doing rituals. Look at this nigga. Zelensky has asked Marina Abramovic to be an ambassador for Ukraine to help rebuild schools. So this system is going completely Satan. You Edomites have lost your damn minds. And we know they're going after the children. Glenn Beck, what just passed in California is coming for all kids across the nation. Basically, they're taking rights away from the parents.
Other times, I think it's the parents' duty to go, no, you don't know what you're talking about. See me? I'm this big. See you? You're this big. You don't know a lot of stuff yet. Now, according to Lori Wilson and the state of California, you have to affirm the most permanent, completely life-altering thing a kid can possibly do to themselves if they decide, you know what? I'm a woman. I don't have to pull this shirt out very much, because I'm practically at the bra stage at this point, and it's not because I'm a woman. I'm just fat. But don't you dare judge me. It's perfectly healthy. Watch, I could have a heart attack by the end of the show. So if they want to change their gender, you can't say anything. And that position is now being accepted and promoted across all of the left, including the White House.
To parents of transgender children, affirming your child's identity is one of the most powerful things you can do to keep them safe and
this
healthy.
place got to be destroyed, man.
Can't believe we have the Crypt Keeper. Notice the consistent language, however, when you could make it out. To keep them safe and healthy. Can I just point out they're not going to be healthy for long once you start, you know, clipping things off or sewing things on and hormone injections? I'm just saying. California State Senator Scott, I'm just saying it. Senator from California, Scott Wiener, added the affirmation part of the new law. Senator Wiener said it is vaguely defined to leave options open for using it against parents. Scott Wiener is the guy who also created the bill last year that made California a so-called sanctuary state for transgender kids from other states.
Yeah, basically the children can run from their parents and go to Cali and they have a safe haven for them. So basically, if your children want to say, well, you know, I want to be this, and you say no, they're weaponized to, you know, basically be taken away. Giving children rights over their parents, which when you go into that book, the NWO, that was one of the things that they planned on doing. So we're here, man.
Now, this new law should alarm and disgust everyone in America for the way it will let the state override the private family life and parenting decisions. I know I think about this all the time when we're having a conversation. How should we use the parenting? You know, what do we do here? What do we do? I immediately think, man, I wish I had a giant fat wiener to tell me exactly what to do. In California, you've got plenty of them. Now, there's a long history of Supreme Court decisions upholding parental rights. There they are. Lots of them. California law has to be challenged all the way to the Supreme Court.
And pretty soon they just going to be passing this. You can watch that. I don't want to, you know, but look at this nigga here. Author of book about trans fourth grader says parental rights anger me. Look at this nigga. So they can't have children. So they're coming after everybody else's. Look at this nigga. Look at that head. All right, you can just look at those titles. After being banned 6 months ago, trans athletes are still allowed to run in UK's women's races. Read that title. Never trust your enemy. Yeah, we're going to have to get to this. Anyway, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, hopefully y'all are edified. This concludes this episode of News and Prophecy. Shalom.